Dear guests, welcome to the Watcher Poll. Today with us we are having Bartosz Domaszewicz, who is currently holding a position of the president of the City Council of Lodz in Poland. Bartosz, welcome to the Watcher Poll.
Hello, nice to see you.
Thank you very much for your time and ability to be with us ahead of the European elections, which are taking place in most of the European countries tomorrow, although some of our fellow Europeans already started voting in some member states. I would like to talk with you mostly about European policies being discussed here in Brussels and how do people on the ground seat. You have recently had local elections where you were elected. Do people care about the European topics? I'm sure that the membership, which has been there now for many years, is taken somehow to granted. But how do people see? Do they feel that Brussels is something far from them, or do they follow what is happening here?
I would say that like today, the two main issues during the previous parliamentary campaign in Poland, also the local elections and now the European campaign, were the two topics. I would say the Green Deal, which is the great issue here in Poland and the great debate, because our former government, Law and Justice government, was from one side supporting it in the EU Parliament and the EU Commission, and now they're saying this is a very bad legislation and a threat for Polish food producers, and there's a huge debate over it in Poland, and also some specific regulations like Fit for 55 and the decisions to ban the petrol and diesel engines from the cars. This is also the huge debate over it in Poland. So those two main topics, but also the migration pact, which is very vivid here. We have these problems on the border of Poland and Belarus that it's happening every day. We just have the soldier who just died yesterday, who was killed by some people on the border. So we have the huge debate over it, and the migration pact. It's as usual as I guess in every country. It's used as a threat, and it's used by the far right to threat people and to draw this this future of the millions of people coming to Poland and changing our society. So it's a huge debate over it. When it comes to the European legislation, I think that it's not enough explained on the local level, on a local basis. People just see it in the big picture with no specific regulations. So the debate is with the arguments taken from the sun, I would say, not from the ground.
We hear this a lot. When you touch upon those Green Deal and Fit for 55 proposals and the whole debate, which has been very intense, and we recently, a few days ago, also had protests of farmers here. Future of food and food production is a big topic. Do you see it as one of the key ones for the next mandate of the European Union? And more importantly, my question is how the EU should balance its industrial policies and environmental challenges and green energy that is, we see, necessary.
I think it's going to be a huge thing during the next mandate. As you just mentioned, there was a protest in Brussels. There are a lot of protests in Poland. Almost every day there are agriculture producers that are blocking the cities, like mine cities, industrial city. We have no fat production in our local economy, but there are blockades in the center of the city going on. So I guess it's a very hot topic. When it comes to the solutions and how to balance those ecological goals and the sustainable growth of the European Union, I think the recipe for it's not that easy to define. But I guess we still need to present people that this green change that it's in front of us, it's also the occasion for our economies. If we want change, the China is going to surpass us easily when it comes to competitiveness. We see what's going on down there. How much money do they invest in the green economy? We have to follow up, I guess, because otherwise we won't be able to to stay on the market. So I guess we need to more show the advantages of it and not only the threats that are on the table.
When we talk about competitiveness, we have to also answer to the question how the EU can attract more investment and also secure its own supply chain. We saw there were some initiatives during the previous mandate on raw materials, many others, and if we just start with the artificial intelligence, what do you see as key elements to attract investment in Europe and at the same time to secure the supply chain?
I guess we need some tax deductions. We need some subsidies for specific sectors of the economy that we want to invest in. That's the one thing I believe that's needed. And I think we need to put more effort to keep our production in the European Union, not outside of it. The reshoring thing that is happening also in the United States, we need to follow it up in Europe. I guess this is the only way you can do it. People are scared that they're going to lose the job as we go with the globalization. I think it's enough. And even if for the progressive parties in Poland, it's obvious that we need to put more effort to our own industry here on the ground in Poland or in ground in Europe.
You now touched upon the United States, and when we talk about the competition ahead of their elections, how do you see the future of transatlantic relations from the end of this year?
I guess that the elections that will happen in the United States going to reshape the global system, and I'm very scared of it, to be honest. As you know, Poland is, I would say, the front country, very close to the war that's happening in Ukraine right now, and with the declarations of Donald Trump that he's going to pull out from the Europe and be more focused on Asia, we're really scared about it. As you know, we as a Poland are investing more than 2% of our GDP in the military industry, but still we need the partner from the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. And I think that Europe is not ready to just have it on its own when it comes to Russia and the global things that are happening. So we're really scared about the US elections, honestly.
You mentioned now, and this is a key issue, and Poland has been on top of helping it, and that is the war in Ukraine. How is the security situation also now on your borders, migration flow, and what do you think? What are the key steps in order for war to end or de-escalate the situation that is currently ongoing in Ukraine?
I think there is no way for de-escalation because the aim of Putin and his regime is not only to conquer the Ukraine, which would be one way to see it, but rather to reshape the whole global scene. And it won't stop in Ukraine. That's what we believe in Poland, and that's what we were saying like 10 or 15 years ago. I remember our discussions during the YEP meetings and the things we were saying that the threat is real and the war is going to happen, and it really happened. So now the situation on Polish border is very tense. We have thousands of people every day trying to get through it. We know there are people who are forced to do that by the Lukashenko's regime. So it's not like, spontaneous movement of people. It's all organized, and it's all connected with the cyber war that is also happening over our institutions. We have just the Polish public news agency attacked a few days ago, and it was hacked. So it happens every day. So we really feel it here. And people are really scared that this war is gonna move towards the Europe. What I think we need to look at the history and have a conclusions out of it. And the history shows that if we want to stop regimes like the one that Putin is ruling, we need to go farther than now. We don't need to only send money and equipment, but there is this, I would say, political initiative by President Macron, who said that we should think over sending even maybe troops down there. And I think it's going to be a debate in next few months in Europe. I just want to recall that in the beginning of this conflict, there was a debate if we should send any offensive military equipment, and now we've far beyond that point, and we going farther and farther when it comes to that. And I think that involvement of European Union, our forces, and NATO in this conflict is inevitable in some time. I know that might sound scary, but this is the reality, and there people are dying down there, and we need to stop it somehow.
There is an initiative proposed by current president and Spitzencandidate Ursula von der Leyen to appoint a new commissioner for defense. Rumor has it that it could be your current Minister of Foreign Affairs. Do you think, not necessarily to comment on him as a name, but on the position as such, that would be a good idea? Does Europe need special commissioner for defense?
Oh, definitely. I think so. We need more cooperation when it comes to military industries in each countries. We need to cooperate those policies. We need to cooperate also our strategic view when it comes to the defending Europe. I guess if we have a new commissioner on defense, it would show also outside of the European Union that we seriously treat all those threats towards our continent. So I think we need that. You know that I admire Sikorski, but I think there are also other candidates on the table. So we're going to see what's going to happen. But initiative as its own to make a commissioner of defense, I think it's really needed, and I think it's also needed when it comes to our outside relations, because United States also needs to see that we have one person to talk about when it comes to the military coordination.
There were many talks during Juncker time of a need for European army. As you said, now when we have a war ongoing in Ukraine, do you think that this idea could be revived?
Oh, I think so. I think we need that. We see that there is already cooperation when it comes to the sending the equipment, the ammo for the equipment. We see that Europe wasn't ready for that. Our industry wasn't ready for that. And yes, especially if we look forward for the US elections and those declarations by Trump, it might happen that in a year or two, we will have to bury all this burden only on our European shoulders. And hopefully we will have a partner on the other side of Atlantic, but we have to prepare for the other scenario. And the common European army is one of the solutions.
A great interview in a little bit more optimistic, I hope so, tone. I have to ask you, since you are now active politician on a local level, and then we talk about the European election itself, which turnout do you expect tomorrow, not necessarily only in Poland, but in the whole European Union? European institutions have launched the campaign Use Your Vote, calling on all citizens to cast their votes tomorrow, because that is the only way to basically let democracy win.
Yeah, we also put a lot of effort to encourage people to go for the voting. In Poland, it's the third elections within 6 months, so people are really tired with the politicians and the campaigning and the debates. People have enough of it. But I hope the turnout is going to be better than in the last European elections in Poland, which was really low, to be honest. I'm looking forward for center political movements to win it, but I'm really scared about the far right and its role in the new European Parliament. And I guess the main race is for the second result in those elections. So between, I would say, socialists and far right.
Thank you very much, Bartosz. We are going to see all the results tomorrow. This was very thoughtful, very insightful. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Dear guests, this was Bartosz Domaszewicz from Poland, President of the City Council of Lodz. Stay with us. There are many more interesting interviews to come.